All right, so we're just going to record a pretty quick video. Mostly it's going over this game, and um, contrary to just going over some of my last like 3 games, which is the video I recorded before this, I want to do this one because the ending is really, I think, instructive. So let's get into it. We're going to go. Also, oh wait, I guess so. I didn't post the video, but I did technically make a video where I get quite a few um, provisional ratings in this pool, and so I was making jokes that I was kind of like the gatekeeper to Lichess, or I feel like a gatekeeper to Lichess because um, I play like 2 games a day, but a good portion of my victories right now are coming from provisional ratings. And I was kind of making jokes saying the only reason I was still above 1500 is I keep getting paired with provisional ratings. That's not really the case. Here we have a victory against a 1591, but I will say games against non-provisional 1500s are very different from provisional 1500s. Um, so let's get into it. E4, C5. We've been going with the Sicilian. This is kind of a Maroczy-esque situation, and I believe I played it wrong because this knight f6 actually gives them a bit of initiative with e5, and I don't have a good response. Yeah, sure, g4. They bring their queen to attack it twice. This isn't the greatest move in the world unless you're going to fianchetto the light squared bishop. So we could say this is like a. Hold on. Okay, never mind. I wonder if I could play here. See, but that doesn't matter because the whole reason I played the knight here was to add 2 attackers. Sorry. Okay, a bit of a tangent here. G6, we're going for our usual setup. H3, this is a pretty reasonable move, I think, for my opponent, kicking the knight out. Knight goes to H6. It is a sad, sad knight. I need to figure out how to get it out of here. They push D3. Kind of solidifying their center. I go G7, so now there's still 2 attackers here. And I'm trying to, eventually I'm thinking about maybe getting my knight to F5. But I want to get my king safe first. I'm trying to do better with like development. And there's a book I have called, and not that I'm reading the book, mind you, but the book is like Play the Dragon, Play the Benko, and it's about counterattacking. And so my understanding is that you can allow a little bit of initiative because the point of the accelerated dragon is to kind of be a more counter punchy opening. My opponent goes G4 to stop knight F5, which is fine. I go D6. I've seen this in like the Alapin and a few more when there's a super advanced pawn. There is a tendency to push D6 to say, hey, what are we doing? I did have the idea to maybe push up. The problem with that is that actually kind of allows the knight in, and I didn't want to just hang a pawn for no reason, especially with the knight at and yeah, there's no real compensation here for it. So just push up a little bit, start trying to relieve the position. Go ahead and trade the central pawn. They come back with the knight. I did not want to trade knights because that's going to double my pawn, and I didn't like that. So I come up, try to get a tempo on the queen. Queen comes back because I'm also technically looking at this, even though like you could have come here, but that leads to this this boy. Well, okay, that's not the tactic, right? If they would have, okay, I'll just show it because I saw it right here. If they would have came here, I would have snapped this off immediately and hit him with the fork. So so D2 is a pretty significant blunder. It just it loses a piece, right? Because you can't really take back. So Queen D1 stops it. That's fine. I'd go B6 to solidify my center and this pawn and try to create space. That does allow my opponent to develop with a bit of a tempo on my rook. So I bring my rook over. There's not a lot I can do here, right? They have the good move. Look at this. Oh, they just fork me. Ugh, gross. But I luckily have my knight to save the day. They can take the knight. That's fine. This is an even trade. I come up. If they want to take, heck, they can take because I get a tempo on their rook. And I'm actually up a pawn at this point. So, continuing on, we basically just trade some of our pieces. They come out with their queen back to attack the rook. I come over. I'm eyeing this weak pawn right here. How are they going to defend it? With a castle. I thought the castle was really good. Kind of stops my plans. There are some soft plans of possibly sacking. Not sacking, but trading off to try and open up the queen's position a bit. But it doesn't work the way I'd want it to. I didn't think this was a great idea, which is why I didn't do it. I went e5. Goal of e5, I think if there's a problem in the position, it's going to be e5. Everything else seems to me like fairly fine, just in general. So e5, with the goal of e5 being to try and get the bishop off of this diagonal. I don't have much of a plan. Like if they go e3, this just blunders. So you do kind of have to be careful. They decide to go to d2. This actually blunders the pawn. So I take the pawn. They attack my rook and kind of blockade the pawn from being able to come up. I'm perfectly fine with that. Because I'm a pawn up, I offer a queen trade. This is another, I think, mistake. Taking the pawn is fine because we actually have this nasty little fork here. I wonder... No, because if they try to fork me here, I'm taking your queen. So they don't really have time to do that. They go e2. I decide to further throw down. Now, is the fork good here? Is this a good move here? No. No, it's not. Because it's a fork. So no. Okay. So I just saw this in this recap. But we also looked at, and then in the game, right, this is starting to get to be a pretty complicated situation. I wanted to see d4 comes back, b3 to protect this pawn, fd8, and now this kind of works because we can no longer take here. We can't take up here, so we have to start figuring out what to do. And this does, we come back probably to defend the pawn, if I had to guess. Yeah, because we're going to start pushing up, and this is fine. I didn't see the bishop d7, but hey, who knows? Queen d2, and then basically this turns into kind of a game. It's a lot more even than I want it to be. Rook d8, so I have like an Alekhine's gun just throwing down. I can... And this, I still can't necessarily take this bishop, though, because we have 1, 2, 3 defenders and 3 attackers. So this is not the time to get super complacent with what we're doing. Hold on. Yeah, you can takes here. Okay. Sorry, every time I go through these games, I see kind of something else that I find really an interesting idea that I want to look at further, which is what leads to such an interesting position. So they go to attack my my queen. I can't take because this is defended enough times, right? And we're just kind of liquidating everything. So takes here, and then you can actually come back and you lose the queen, so we don't want to do that. I see there's a free pawn here, so I can move my rook protect my pawn, and now I'm actually pinning the knight, so I could maybe take and do a little liquidation of both of the rooks. And actually, I think this is the interesting part, right? It looks scary for white. I think white is better here. I mean, that maybe not better, but I have problems that I need to get fixed, right? And then this would be this is the interesting part. I would say takes here. And now we have an issue. We have an issue. So how do we solve the issue? Basically, you can't sack here. Okay, so what's the issue? Okay, let's talk about the issue. They go c2, and I go rook takes c3 because after takes back. And so my opponent actually resigned here. So this is where my opponent resigned. Little did my opponent know how brutal the position is if you make the wrong decision. Yes, it's being killed. I'm killing it if I make the right move. I can also lose if I make the wrong move. So this is super duper sharp. So let's make the moves, right? Okay, this is it. You have two options. Which way do you take back? Are you more materialist or are you not? Pause the video. Let me know which way you would take. There is one very and there's only one way to take, and that is Bagao. Queen e2. Queen takes e2. So the reason materialism is bad in this situation, right? Because if we go here, you come back, and we take, we get mated in 2 or 3. This is mate, and you cannot stop it. So you could give up your queen. Now, this is predicated on me making the wrong decision, in which I very well might. It would be very interesting to put some lower rated people in my rating, would they find the correct capture back? Because this looks so juicy, right? When instead, it's here. And then, honestly, I would take and I would liquidate. And I would say, I have more pawns. I'm going to, we're going to come here. Sure. But I'm better here. I'm a whole piece. I'm a clean piece up with a few pawns. Now there might be a better way to do it, right? Than just liquidating to a winning endgame. Maybe. I'm not that worried about finding out. But the instructive part is queen a2 is dead losing. That's wild. And really what it is it's dead drawing, because now you cannot take. You have to draw it. And if we do check the engine, right? Because I was so curious here. I was like, does it matter? Right? And I didn't have... I said, here, here. And then this is when I was like, oh, wait. Oh, my gosh. And so I did have the thought, like, is this an immortal queen because you have this idea? And is there a way around it? So I did check. I checked just this position, which is how I found out that this is so strong. Well, this just damn loses if you actually take the queen. So this is an immortal queen. I just find it so interesting, this position. because it's like rarely do you have these like big questions. And for my opponent, right? You never know. I mean, keep looking. They had it doesn't really say the time they played this so fast. They got a full minute, right? They're playing fast, playing fast, playing fast. This is a bullet game because I mean, it's 15-10, so less than 10 seconds per move. And then here they were like, fuck. Damn it. Little did they know, I very well, and to be perfectly honest, I think I would have gone here. I think I would have blundered mate. And it's like, I see this as a win, sure, but I kind of see it as a loss because I know myself, and I know I would probably be like, well, I would like more material. And how long would it take me to realize that this is real bad? I mean, you can't even. I mean, you'd have to, right? Well, you can't. I don't think you can come here. Right? That's bad. That's no bueno. So what about here? Well, you're still losing your rook. Okay, so this is absolutely crushing. There is no good move. This is the only way. Only move. Whereas this is absolutely getting crushed. This is, I like, I don't know. This is why I like chess. This is positions like this where it's like, there's two very obvious moves. Both of them win the queen, but yet one destroys it. I realize I'm kind of going in circles. I'm not saying I played a brilliant game, but the position we ended up in a 15-10 game, I think, is like really interesting. Did I play the game particularly well? Probably not. G6. I mean, I think here, I think this is a mistake. Or what it is it's not covered, right? Because I've had this issue before where in certain openings it's not covered. Let me see. Do we have our Chessable open? So if we go to courses, we're not going to go through everything, but I do want to see the quick starter guide down to the Maroczy, the late Alapin, Rossolimo Maroczy. E4, C5, knight F3, knight C6, D4, C takes D4, knight takes D4, G6, C4, knight F6. Okay. Interesting. So this is a part of the open Sicilian, whereas here they never actually played D4. So in turn, because I was like, well, what happens if they push here? Well, there's no knight anymore, so it's fine. Okay. That's something to dig into. I think that's interesting. What happens if they don't push? Thinking maybe they'll push later, so let's come up with a better move, right? I think maybe that better move would be D6. Why D6? Well, the Maroczy is saying that that D5 is my square. So you kind of got to be like, fine. And if they want to come here to like a stone wally boy, well, I'm going to put a knight there eventually. So now maybe we come out. You can't push because it's now protected. And so now we can kind of get our setup and play it closer to a Maroczy. Not even, because it's more of a stone wall. Put your stuff here. Except it's a stone wall that's shifted, right? So the regular stony boy is here. Your light squared bishop is god awful. Okay, that was a quick video, kind of looking deeper into our own games, or at least this game that I think had probably one of the most interesting endings. Let's see. Do we want to do an engine review? How about no? If you have any comments or questions, let me know what you think. I would do this 10 times out of 10 and get mated and just be so mad and then get on a camera and be like, I can't get above 1,500. Oh, boy. I think boy might be a little tilted. Yeah. Oh, no. No, it was near the end of his day. Near the end of his day. Let's see. See if we have any other games we want to go over just real fast. 1490. No, not really. No. The French, eh? Oh, computer. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. We're just kind of clicking around a little bit. We'll talk to y'all later.